Hello children, we are entering into the part 4 video of this unit Mechanics of Solids and Fluids, right, which ends the portions for you towards your AFED examination. For your AFED examinations, Unit 2 and Unit 3 will be your portions. For Unit 2 we have 3 chapters, yes, motion in straight line and laws of motion. Along with that you will have this lesson 2, this Unit 2. Okay, so now what and all we have to recall now. In your previous video we learned about hydrostatics and dynamics, fluids and pressure in fluid, which tells you about the formula P is equal to H rho G, density and relative density, viscosity, relative viscosity, and the types of flow of liquid, which shows about which tells about streamline flow, turbulent flow, and critical velocity, Reynolds number. Can you able to recall all the points? Yes. Now we are moving to the next concepts which we will learn about: Stokes law, cohesive force and adhesive force, surface tension, capillarity, and one important theorem by name Bernoulli's theorem. Right. First, we will move into Stokes law. Right. Have you ever dived into a deep water, children? A best example, you can feel that, right? When you dive into a deep water, for example, in between the beginning only what you will have some fast moving down the water, right? Then after reaching one small distance, down that, what you will do, you can smoothly flow down into the what is that? That where you are swimming, right? So like that, if a body, if a small object, like one small iron ball is placed inside a liquid, right? You can refer to the diagram which is at page number 59, right? So this is your picture, page number 59. Right now, if you have one small ball like that flowing into that tube of oil, okay. Now in the beginning, that small ball will come very fastly, and after reaching one particular distance, it will move very smoothly. It will follow some uniform motion, right? So that why it does it? It will attain one velocity, right? So till one particular distance, it will come with a variable velocity. After reaching one particular distance inside that oil, okay, it will reach one velocity called terminal velocity, which will make it to flow very steadily, right? So that is explained by Stokes. He is a great scientist, right? He gave a law which is and that law is accompanied by one equation. F is equal to 6 pi eta AB. This extended n, I will tell you that how you have to write it, right? So now n, in the previous class itself I have written it. N you will write, n you will extend like this. That how you will have to pronounce it? Eta, ETA, right? Right. Now 6 pi eta AB. 6 is a number, pi is also a number. You know that what is pi is equal to 3.14 or 22 by 7. Okay. It is also a number. Eta is coefficient of viscosity and A is the radius of the sphere as per that diagram what you have shown now. Right? So here one sphere we are going to throw into that liquid oil. No, that sphere's radius is called as A and B is called as terminal velocity. Okay, children. So this law is useful in our daily life also. For example, take rainfall, right? So usually we have clouds only give us rain, right? So these clouds is a formation of a combination of water vapor, right? So these clouds in the beginning it will have different velocity and it will join as clouds. But after one particular velocity is reached, that velocity is this. Terminal velocity, what it will do? It will smoothly fall down as rain. Okay, so Stokes' law is equation is F is equal to 6 pi eta AB. What is F? Viscous force. Eta is coefficient of viscosity, A is the radius of sphere and B is the terminal velocity. So rain application, rainfall, I have explained now. Right, what are intermolecular forces? I told you already a substance is made up of molecules or atoms. The force in between the molecules intermolecular forces. These intermolecular forces are divided into two types: cohesive force, here cohesive force and adhesive force. Say the word cohesive force and adhesive force. Cohesive force are nothing but force between the molecules of same substance. That means, for example, if I take a scale like this, a chalk piece. This chalk piece is made up of so many molecules inside it, right? These molecules are loosely bound and have some attraction between them, right? So that force of attraction between the molecules within a same substance. Molecules of chalk piece inside it, molecules of scale within it. That force is called as cohesive force. But what is adhesive force? For example, if I want to, paste a paper on this, what I will do? I will apply some gum, right? So that gum will make one paper. I will apply gum on a paper and paste that paper over the scale. Now paper is another substance, scale is another substance. Now I am applying one thing, no, that gum. That will give one force called adhesive force. Adhesive, right? So it is the force of attraction between two different substances, scale and the paper. That's why we use in Fevicol tubes and all. You would have seen a strong adhesive. You would have seen this word, right? Adhesive means it is a liquid which will give force of attraction between two substances, right? This process of cohesive force given by the substances is called cohesion, right? Then the process of adhesive force given by the substances is called adhesion. Okay, what are the two types of intermolecular forces now? Cohesive force and coadhesive force. Right. Now next one is molecular range. Now, right now in your book, take page number 60. Right. Now, liquid is in that you can refer to the diagrams which are connected to these topics. Now, a substance, any matter, a liquid, solid or gas, it is comprised of molecules, right? Now, one molecule, right? Till where one molecule will be there, till what distance the molecule can exert some force with other molecules, right? So that range, if a substance is made up of so many molecules, if we take one molecule, till what distance the molecule can exert force, right? That distance is called as molecular range. So it is the maximum distance up to which a molecule can exert force, right? For example, in a daily life example also I can say. For example, if I am, what is that? If I am shaking hands with one particular another person, right? Now till here only I can give a handshake. Now if I move it further and further, I cannot give handshake, right? So like that, in a substance, till what distance a molecule can exert some attraction. So that distance is called as molecular range. Now we have another heading called as sphere of influence, right? Now a molecule is there. Now you can refer to the diagram there, right? This diagram, like this diagram here, right? Now, what does that diagram refer to? Around one particular molecule, there will be an imaginary sphere, right? One sphere till where this, attraction of molecules can be felt, right? So, till where it can actively take part. I told you here, no, molecular range. Till that range, if we draw one sphere, that sphere is called as sphere of influence. So it is an imaginary sphere around a molecule till where attractive forces influenced. Right? Next one is surface tension. Right? This you would have learned in your 6th standard too. Right? It is the force per unit length of a liquid. Right? Now if we take one beaker of water, right, on the surface, right, the water will behave like one, what is that, stretched membrane. Membrane means what? It is just one layer. It is just like one rubber sheet. Right? Yeah, though it is comprised of so many molecules, what? The water. Right? The molecules got attached to each other and there is a layer, right? Water molecules. It is not broken up in between and it acts like one stretched, what is that? Stretched liquid, right? With complete continuity. That process, that phenomena is called a surface tension. That is theoretical explanation. Mathematically, we explain surface tension as force per unit length. Force per unit length on surface of a liquid. How much force acts on the surface of a liquid? For example, if we have a tumbler of water, the tumbler of water will have an upper surface. No. On that surface, how much force is acting on particular length? That particular length only we call it as per unit length. Okay. Now what is the formula? Surface tension is force acting per unit length. Per itself I told you it is divided by L. In the previous classes I told you, right? So now this is force and this is length. Now tell me the unit. Unit of force is Newton. Length unit is meter. So it is in the denominator. When it goes up, it will go with power -1. So unit of surface tension is Newton per meter. Correct? Next one is surface energy. Now remember very clearly children, surface tension, right? So it is the force per unit length. This is your mathematical definition. But theoretically how we can understand? The layer, the process by which a liquid behaves like one elastic membrane. It is called as surface tension, right? One good example I will tell you. If you open a tap, right? How the liquid flows? Continuously it is flowing. But when we tighten it, sometimes the water will come out like drop by drop. One drop it will come. So the water can come like one drop also, or it can flow continuously. But if it flows continuously, is it flowing drop by drop continuously? Is it flowing? No. The drops of water gets attached like one membrane, right? Like one cloth, right? That process is called as surface tension. Now we have another word called surface energy. And it is the potential energy per unit area of the surface film. Right. Now we have surface of water in a vessel or a beaker. On that surface, how much energy is acting? So that is what. And that energy is potential energy. What is the meaning for potential energy? It is the energy possessed by liquids at rest. Right? So the surface of the liquid, how much energy will be there? That is called as surface energy. And when we calculate it, it is mathematically equal to surface tension. So both surface energy and surface tension are mathematically, numerically they are same. But meaning wise, it will be little different. Right? Surface tension is that it is the force acting on the surface. Surface energy is the energy acting on the surface. Clear children? Next one is we have capillarity. So very interesting word, right? Now have you ever spilled ink on your table? Yes, most of us would have done it, right? Immediately what we will do? Either we will use our pen nib on the ink or we will wipe it with kerchief, right? Or else some intelligent people like me will do. What they will do? They will just roll a chalk piece on the ink. What they will do? What is the process we are doing? That ink will get into that nib. It will flow inside. Or cloth means the cloth will absorb. And chalk piece means chalk piece also will absorb. What is happening there? This chalk piece, example, this chalk piece absorbs ink means where that ink goes inside the chalk piece. The chalk piece will have so many minute pores in it. Pores means what? Holes. Small holes it will have. Inside that holes, the ink will be absorbed. And the ink molecules will be kept inside the pores of the chalk piece. This happens in the same case of the nib or the kerchief. Right? Now that process of liquid entering into one tube or any substance, that process is called capillarity. Say the word capillarity. Now the rise of a liquid in a tube. Tube any object. For example, you are drinking cool drinks, right? What you will do? You will have a straw, right? So what you will do, as you keep the straw, you will start sucking. As you suck, what it will do? The liquid will get risen into the, what is that? The straw. So that process of rising of liquid into one tube-like structure, that process is called capillarity. Okay. So remember the spelling. Double L will come here. So don't make mistake. What is the reason for capillarity? It is due to surface tension. It is due to surface tension. Okay. Now angle of contact. Now I have given two types of diagram here. First I will explain this. Now if I have a tube, even in your water bottle you can see this. Right? The topmost layer, no. So it will be like this or it will be like this. That layer formation is called, we call it by one name called as meniscus. Say the word meniscus. M-E-N-I-S-C-U-S. Meniscus. Underline that words in your page 62. Right? So what is that word called as? Meniscus. Right. Now this meniscus will be of two types. Either it will be concave like this or convex like this. For different liquids it will be like that. Right? Now what is this angle of contact? Now on the surface, if we draw a tangent, a line making a 90 degree, right? Now to that line, what is the angle made? That is called as angle of contact. Angle between tangent to the surface and the liquid surface is called as what? Angle of contact. Right? Now, if the meniscus is concave like this, if it is concave, now the angle of contact, this is your capillary tube. That any tube-like structure, the angle between the surface and this tube, and that is called as what? Angle of contact. So angle between the tangent and the liquid surface. But you can understand in this way also. If this is considered to be, if this is your meniscus, from the surface if you draw a line, the angle in between that surface and this line, imaginary line, is called as angle of contact. So if the meniscus is concave, the angle will be acute. What angle? Angle of contact. Now if the meniscus is convex, right, the line will go upwards and this angle is obtuse. So remember this, very important, 1 mark will be asked on this. Right. Now we have to see some few examples for capillarity. Now I have one example I have told you now, ink blotting in the chalks and paper. Right. Now that is what your first example. Sponge. Now when wiping on over the surfaces, what we will use? We will use one sponge like item, right? So what is that? To absorb water only we will use that sponge. What does that sponge do to absorb the water? The sponge inside it will have so many pores. Pores means what? Small holes. Inside that holes, water will enter inside. Right? So now afterwards what we will do? We will pour, we will squeeze it. What will happen when we squeeze? From the pores the water will come out. So this is the activity in sponge. So hereafter when you use sponge at your home, remember this word. What is this word? That word? Capillarity. That pores I am saying to children, that pores. P-O-R-E-S. They are called as capillaries. Capillaries. Say the word C-A-P-I-L-L-A-R-I-E-S. Capillaries. Okay. So that process is called as what? Capillarity. Now oil in a lamp. Now in your puja room you will have lamps, no. You will pour oil and you will have a thread-like structure. In Tamil we call it to be thiri, right? So what you will do, you will just wet it with the oil and you will ignite the lamp. How that oil flows till the end where we ignited, right? So through that thread that we call it as thirino, that the thread will have so many pores in it. Through that pores, that oil will enter till that end of that, right? So using that oil only the lamps can be ignited. See what a trend, what is a tedious process daily we are doing at home, And see that hereafter when you see any lamp glowing, think of this word. Okay, this is how you have to recollect, connect to the learned concepts with your daily life. Right? Next one, walls damping. Now it is rainy season. You can see walls will have some wet areas. There will be damping of walls, right? Because of what? In the bricks what we use for construction, there will be so many pores. Inside that pores, rain water will get into it. That's why the wall gets that watery structure, damping of walls. That is also due to what? Capillarity. See how physics plays a main role in our life. See, around everything there we can relate one physics oriented concept. So you also try to recollect this, connect with your daily life with your learning concepts. Then learning becomes very interesting. Right. Next one is, we are going to now, these are the examples for capillarity. Now we are moving to the examples for surface tension. Now you will get surprised to see these examples. Right. Oil on sea. This fishermen know, children, when they go for fishing, what they will do when sudden storm comes, right? What immediately they will do? They will pour oils of can of oils. What they will do? They will pour on the sea water around the ship. What it will do, no children? The surface tension will get reduced. Right? When you pour oil, usually the liquid will act like a membrane, right? So due to that continuous flow only, the ship will get damaged. To stop that damage, what they will do? They will pour oil. When they pour oil, the heaviness of the water attacking the ship will be reduced. So that's why fishermen will pour oil on sea to safeguard themselves and the ship. Next one is lubricating oils. Lubricating oil means what? In our vehicles and all, they use now when there is some cring sound we get in the vehicles, and one oil or grease we apply. That spreads out easily because of this property called surface tension. Okay. Next one, we use detergents. See, daily we are washing our clothes at home. How? See, there is a tea stain. Example we will take. Tea stain on our shirt or your skirt, right? What will do? We will apply detergent on it. What will do also, right? This tea stain will be spread out, right? Would have got spreaded out on the shirt. For example, I will take my saree here as an example. If tea stain is here, right? Tea, because of surface tension, would have spread out here. Now, when I apply some detergent over here, what will do? Now, detergent will have one surface tension here. This detergent molecules will cover like one barrier over there. So, if the detergent due to its surface tension, it will cover the dirt over there. So, the dirt, that continuity of dirt, the spread of the dirt will be cut by the detergent. So, the dirt and all will be removed now. So, this is also surface tension. Okay. Next one, what will happen? In our ads and all we see now, the dirt will come out. The magnets will go and attract all the dirt. Nothing works out there. It is all due to surface tension. That detergent powder they are having now, they will have high chemicals in it which can go and attack the dirt. Which will, what is that? Which will decrease the surface tension very easily. When we decrease the surface tension, what it will do? The layer, it cannot spread out. The dirt cannot spread out. It has to come out. So that is the property chemical they will add in the detergents. It is not like that graphics and all seen in the ad. No, it is nothing is working out there, right? Next one we have this point, cotton dresses. In summers, people advise us to wear cotton dresses. Why? Because in summer we will sweat a lot because it will be very hotter, right? These sweat when we wear normal cloths, what is the nylon based cloths, non-cotton dresses. It will not have some capillaries, holes. But cotton dresses is made up of cotton only, no. Thus cotton will be having so many pores in it, capillaries in it. What it will do? The sweat, it is of a salty water, right? So it is just, it will go and settle down into the pores of that cotton. That's why you will not get any smell or we will not feel that much hotter. Otherwise, what it will do, if there is no way for the sweat to go out, what it will do, it will deposit on the dress and we will have patches of salts, right? We would have experienced this in the summer time. So that's why people advise us to wear cotton cloths during the summer. Right. Next one, water striders. This have you ever seen children? We cannot walk on the surface of water, but mosquitoes will walk easily on water. Mosquitoes and bees. Have you ever watched this? How no children? These mosquitoes will have small that fins and leg-like structures. This water will act like one membrane, no. So on that it will not be on the surface like drop and drop, right? So it will act like a continuous membrane. So due to that sharpness of the leg, right, the mosquito can easily walk on the water surface, right? Next one, we are moving to an important theorem called Bernoulli's theorem. This theorem states that pressure energy plus potential energy plus kinetic energy of a liquid is equal to a constant. That constant is called as total energy. I tell you this, don't get confused. And a liquid will have three types of energy. Potential energy you already know. Energy when the liquid is at rest. Kinetic energy, when a liquid flows, the energy possessed by the liquid is called kinetic energy. Along with that, the liquid when it flows, it will have some pressure now. The energy created by that pressure is called as pressure energy. When we add these three energy, what are the three energy? Pressure energy, potential energy and kinetic energy. We will get one number which will never change. That is constant. That constant is called as total energy of the liquid. Total energy of a liquid. And this theorem states one equation. And that equation is called as Bernoulli's equation. Say the word Bernoulli's equation. What is the equation now? P by rho. Rho I told you in the previous class, density, RHO, rho. P by rho plus V square by 2 plus 2G is equal to a constant. Right? Now in these terms, there are three terms here which refers to these three energies. One term refers to pressure energy, one term refers to potential energy and one term refers to kinetic energy. And that equation will give you a constant. That constant is called as what? Total energy. So what does that Bernoulli theorem states? The total energy of a liquid remains constant, but when the liquid is, must be an incompressible liquid. Right? The theorem is there in your page 65. You can say that for a streamlined flow of a non-viscous, the flow must be streamlined and liquid must be non-viscous and incompressible. So this conditions and all I will give you in the notes, right? So for a streamlined flow means what? Steady and slow flow. The previous video I have told you this. Streamlined flow of a non-viscous liquid and an incompressible liquid, right? So when the liquid possesses these conditions and these three energies sums will remain constant. That is called your Bernoulli's theorem. Now we have one applications for it which is called as Bernoulli's action. Have you ever seen videos like this, children? A house, a thatched house or a sheet covered house. When heavy storm comes, what will happen? The sheet alone will get blown out. Have you ever seen this? But the other parts of the house will remain as it is. No damage will be created. But the roof, this type of roof will be getting flown away. Or even this flat roof. Why no, children? When what is that? When a heavy pressure is just moving out, what will happen? It will create one, a low pressure area near that roof. Near that roof, what will happen? Low pressure area will be created. But down the roof, high pressure will be created. What will happen? On the top, low pressure. Below, high pressure. What it will do? Below the roof, inside the house, pressure will be more. What will happen? High pressure will lift the roof up. So due to the less pressure over here, the roof will be blown out of its position. So that is due to Bernoulli's action. That is what I have told here. Blowing of flues. Lift of aircraft wing. Wing you have no children. When it is moving, aircraft means aeroplane, right? Now when it is moving, what will it lift? Aeroplanes will lift after moving one particular distance only. While moving, what will happen? On the surface, upper surface of the wing, pressure will be reduced. But below that wing, pressure will increase. So what will happen? High pressure will also lift the wing. That's why the flight gets lifted up. So that is also due to Bernoulli's action. Okay children, now these are all very, what is that? Very interesting concepts which we will see in the next video. Prepare well children. Thank you.